Hi, I'm Alex Ubiatas. After Hurricane Katrina, in a poll of people who chose not to evacuate, 44% said they didn't want to leave their pets. In our part of the country, we have some of the highest rates of pet ownership anywhere, and so we need to be thinking seriously about how we support pets and their owners during a disaster response. And it's why we always say pets are family. Today, you'll hear from two experts in animal care. Randy Covey from Washington County Animal Services in Hillsborough has 33 years of experience in animal welfare field services with emphasis on law enforcement, disaster response, and shelters. Jeanette Farrell of Multnomah County Animal Services has 13 years of shelter experience and 10 years of experience in veterinary medicine. They're going to share their knowledge and resources for you to help pets and owners when disaster strikes. Let's go pay them a visit.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Farrell, and welcome to my office. You heard a moment ago about the approximately 200,000 people who didn't evacuate for Hurricane Katrina because of their pets. I was there, and I met some of these people, and they didn't evacuate because those pets really were considered a part of their family. Animals are part of our emergency operations because keeping pets safe also keeps people safe. Of course, there may be some instances that are more tricky than others, but I found that there's usually something I can do for someone who comes with a pet, whether it's a partial accommodation, finding them another resource, or just giving them some ideas about what they can do. So, we should think about how we can accommodate and care for pets in disaster resource centers. First, let's talk about people with service animals. By law, we are always required to accommodate people with service animals without exception. Service animals need to remain with their person at all times. What's available for pets may vary. Early in an incident and during really large disasters, some supplies like crates, bedding, and food may take time to arrive.
Hi, I'm Randy Covey. Welcome to my office. Some centers let pets stay with their owners. Others may make space for pets in another area of the building. And sometimes pets are placed in a covered area in the parking lot, and they can be supplied with kennels, bedding, food, water, and other things as needed. If pets or owners need something else, that should be communicated through the chain of command for that shelter. However, not all shelters will allow pets beyond service animals. Yours may not. Or if yours does, people may think that means that all other shelters do. This is really important to remember when we talk to the public about taking pets. Although don't forget that any media inquiries should be handled by the Public Information Officer. It's the responsibility of owners to take care of their own animals in the Disaster Resource Center. Animals are more comfortable when owners can bring familiar food, blankets, and other things their pet knows. But a pet-ready Disaster Resource Center will provide resources, including crates, blankets, and food when needed. However, daily pet care isn't your responsibility. Pet owners need to monitor their animals, feed them, take care of animal waste, comfort their pets, and keep them out of trouble for everyone's safety and well-being. Crates that are housing animals need to let the animals stand and turn around comfortably, and all crates need a solid floor. This is more comfortable for the animal, and it keeps the waste from going outside of the cage. Just like people, animals in the shelter will have medical needs. First and foremost, in case of an immediate medical emergency of an animal, immediately inform your supervisor because we may be the only resource that owner has for saving their pet. Also, be vigilant with animals at the Disaster Resource Center and make sure to address medical or behavioral concerns with owners. It's a whole lot easier to have a conversation than to have a whole new emergency on your hands. Having said that, less dangerous health issues with pets are actually pretty likely. Unknown environments are stressful, and a lot of illness in pets is related to stress. But you really can make a difference here. Your welcoming, attentive, proactive response as a Disaster Resource Center staffer keeps people and their pets safe and comfortable in emergencies, and therefore healthier. If something seems wrong, just ask owners if they're worried about their animal's health or condition, or if they need assistance. Then, communicate concerns or requests through your chain of command.
Something else that we can do to keep pets healthy is to keep different species separated. Be on the lookout for signs of actual disease in animals. For example, coughing, sneezing, or watering eyes. Also, we have found that cats should never be removed from their kennels in the shelter. Some examples of medical conditions that I would want to bring up with my supervisor might include bloody diarrhea, vomiting, bleeding, significant loss of appetite for several days, yelping in pain, lethargy, or sores on the skin. If you see any of these signs, tell your supervisor. Like we talked about before, you can expect to see animals being fearful or stressed when they come into a shelter. They might be shaking, staying stiff, or very low to the ground, looking for hiding places, growling, showing the whites of their eyes, raising their hackles, or just freezing in place. When I see these things, I try to suggest to the owners that their pet might feel a little bit more comfortable in a crate. If they seem stressed in the crate, you can offer a blanket to the owners to cover over the crate, which often helps calm them down. On the other hand, aggressive behavior is something you definitely want to address with owners and through the chain of command. Our value of safety takes priority here. Aggressive behaviors are things like an animal baring its teeth, barking or growling really intensely, charging people, or fighting with other animals, lunging on the leash, or snapping in the air. And of course, if a bite to a person breaks the skin, you need to inform your supervisor. However, the best way to provide safety for pets and the people around them is to always keep them under control. Animals should always be on a leash or confined in a crate or a room. That'll do more to avoid safety problems like aggression or even just the pet getting lost than we could do through intervention after the fact.
All right, that's it. We talked about how supporting pets and owners helps lots of people who wouldn't access services if they had to stay separated from their pets. We talked about some resources for helping people provide for their pets and about some health and safety practices for pets in shelters. Thanks very much for taking the time to think about how we can help pets and their owners during an emergency. And feel free to check out some of the other topics in this series, all about operating disaster resource centers during an emergency. Thanks for watching.